Good evening and assalamu alaikum to everybody in the world. This evening of 18th of November 2023, we are sitting over here, children's sculpture garden over here on Amsterdam. I think, can you show the Joe? Joe? I'm sitting with Mr. George Gruenthal. He's a history, one of the person I called him the history of New York. Those brave students and full of conscience who stand against the war policy of the United States in Vietnam in 1960s. When young George Gruenthal is a part of that group who occupied the Columbia University in 1968. Am I right, George?
Yes.
Just tell us what's about that. And they're asking the question nowadays, the position of the Pakistan, what's happening in Pakistan, how the news are coming down there. The civil rights is really is a soft coup and very dirty coup. And people ask me as a Secretary General of Pakistan USA Freedom Forum, how the Pakistani living abroad thinking about. I will share with this thing, but let's say hello to Mr. George Gruenthal.
Hello. Comrade from Pakistan USA Freedom Forum asked me to give some background of the way the CIA operates abroad, in particular in Indonesia in 1965. At that time, there was a government with a president who was basically a leader of the anti-colonial movement, Sukarno, and the Communist Party of Indonesia, PKI, was, I think, the largest communist party outside of any socialist country, and they were friendly with Sukarno, and they thought that that meant that the state was basically on their side. They made a very bad mistake because the state is not just the president, or not even mainly the president, but it's the army, the police, what are called special bodies of armed men. So the CIA organized with the leaders of the Indonesian military, because the communists there were too strong.
Suharto.
With Suharto
Yes.
as the main leader of the military, and organized a coup against not just Sukarno, but all the left-wing people, particularly the communists. And they had a bloodbath in which somewhere over 500,000 people were killed. It was so bloody they couldn't bury people. They threw the bloody corpses in the river, and the PKI, which had been very strong, was decimated. A similar thing happened in Chile in 1973, where you had a basically progressive socialist reformer in office, Allende.
Dr. Allende, eh?
Yeah.
Dr. Allende,
Dr.
yes.
Allende, correct. And he was supported by the Socialist Party and the Communist Party. And again, they thought that this meant that they had the state on their side. But again, having the president on your side is not the same thing. So once again, the CIA organized with the heads of the Chilean military, particularly General Pinochet, and they had a coup in which Chile is a much smaller country than Indonesia, so they massacred somewhere around 100,000 people. Other leftists who were not killed outright were tortured. Comrade and I know some of them who managed, after being tortured, to get to the United States. But again, it shows that one cannot rely just on a progressive president if you don't have control of the army, the police, and you don't have your own people's army and police. They can get rid of whoever they want to do. And I'm learning now about the situation in Pakistan today, which I don't know that much about. So I'm going to turn it back over to Comrade.
George, thank you very much for giving us some little brief, but main thing, if you give us like 20 seconds or 40 seconds, what happened in 1968 and why you people are against the CIA and Vietnam wars.
Okay.
That's what I'm, main thing is
Yeah,
this.
we were fighting against the Vietnam War for quite a number of years. Mostly we had tables out with literature and talking to students and other people around the campus. Vietnam War was a continuation of colonialism. First, France had occupied Vietnam, and then when the French were defeated by the Vietnamese in Battle of Dien Bien Phu in 1954, the U.S. took over, and they had a puppet regime first under Diem, and then various other military who were carrying out fight against the people of South Vietnam and against North Vietnam. And Colombia was involved with that. Colombia had something called the Institute for Defense Analysis, which worked helping develop strategies and weapons for the war in Vietnam. So students took over a total of 5 buildings in protest not only against the war in Vietnam, but also against Columbia building a semi-private gym in Morningside Park, which is right sort of behind here, and not giving much of anything except a token to the community. So we organized around both the question of Colombia's involvement in the Vietnam War and its racist policies in Harlem, basically. Also with Colombia owns a lot of buildings in the area which are all gentrified. And Colombia is still working with the U.S. and its puppets in the current war or against Palestine. Colombia is giving all sorts of...
You're talking about Gaza, huh?
Gaza, yeah, but Colombia is giving all sorts of technical assistance to Israel and allowing Israeli technical people to develop their work at Columbia. But there's now again a very large student movement with big demonstrations all over the city, all over the country, all over the world, but also in the university against Israel and against at Columbia's policies in support of Israel.
So George asked me regarding what's happening nowadays in Pakistan. It's a very right question, and anybody who knows the history of the CIA and the Washington big people, strategists who has a long experience with the dedication and the highest degrees from the reputed universities and the education institute. But they know only one thing, how to use their brain and intellect to capture the nations, to suck the poor peoples. That was the proven history of this United States of America. It's not the history of the people of the United States. It's a history of the people who ruled over here in Washington in the name of the CIA, in the name of Pentagon, in the name of Wall Street. So at this moment, Pakistan and Pakistan USA Freedom Forum, which talk to the people and common people of Pakistani who living outside the country, living in the United States and in the world. And we are the only outside group who send the highest level remittance yearly, almost $33 billion. No World Bank, no IMF, no other institution, no Asian banks give the money like this.
That noise does come through a little bit. We're okay. All right.
But last April 9th, which was overthrown, they overthrew the elected government of Mr. Imran Khan. Imran Khan has a very good relation till last night, 9 and 10th April midnight, when they kicked him out, when the army chief and army officials involved, I think under the supervision and under the guidance of the CIA, experienced people, brain strategists who know how to take away the people's right, how to suck the money. So they hired the bureaucrats maybe the arm twisting to the highest judges of Supreme Court. And they use these things with the soul seller politicians. I can give you the name because this name comes from the people. Nawaz Sharif and Asif Zardari People's Party, Bhutto Party, who control the country with the help of the army, with the help of the GHQ. Last 40 years, since 1980s, they control the country, and especially 1988, after when Zia was burned in an airplane crash, C-130 helicopter in Bahawalpur. So at this moment, after 9th of April, Pakistan never sees crackdown on the civil society like this. There's 1,000 people at this moment in Pakistan jail. There's a woman who challenged any kind of dictatorship in this country, Dr. Yasmin Rashid and Zulekha, then other 5, 6, 7 very heroic women. They look like a lioness. The lions, cannot fight like this. And we are proud of our women. People think that a Pakistani Muslim woman cannot fight. No. When there's a right thing, they can fight and they can tell the world that we are the woman and we will be the winner, inshallah. So after that is a crackdown, the army using this army chief named Hafiz Asim Munir. People think this guy is a illegal army chief. Same way, the spy agency like CIA, ISI chief Nadeem Anjum, Lieutenant General Nadeem Anjum, he was appointed against the protocols and the procedure. That was, I think, the turning point, the clash between the elected government of Imran Khan and the GHQ. Because GHQ put him as a, I don't know where they got the orders. They never talked to the PM. They never got the approval from the PM Imran Khan. So this ISI has the files of everybody's over there, and especially this Nadra, who has a record of every citizen of Pakistan, and that was created by after 9/11. And this CIA, maybe they have every record of the Pakistani. So they can use any kind of stuff, people who's outside and people inside. So basically at this moment, Pakistan USA Freedom Forum, we have very much fear that when your army, young army officers realize this thing, that your leader, your chief, is illegally appointed. So morally they don't have anything feel to obey the law, obey the orders. That's make me very, as a Secretary General of Pakistan USA Freedom Forum, lover of Pakistani future, very, very sad to me. And I think the GHQ people, high-level people who love their army institution, think twice to do anything. His better thing is this, Mr. Asim Munir, Hafiz, and ISI, Mr. Anjum, must go now. This is the time to go. Release all political prisoners in Pakistan, and please, never ever try to do anything like Indonesia in 1965 when you killed millions of people and you think you can control. Yes, Suharto was ruled 33 years. Till 1998 he was ruled. That's the game of the CIA, because they don't like any elected sovereignty level, civil society level government. And then Pakistan at this moment, in my position, and Pakistan USA Freedom Forum, what we learn from the academia, intelligentsia, and people of conscience and scholar of history, they think the all game is just to control the Chinese future. And Pakistan is a neighbor of China, atomic power. India is walking with the blessing with the Washington, and he's proud. But I hope that Indian leadership will realize this thing, that in this region, we don't need any kind of war. We want a free international water, free of atomic bombs. And this Quad system, which is trying to make some Australian and a bully, just like Israel in Arab, for American cause, for American interests, and for the European interests, for the World Bank interests, for the Wall Street interests. I hope that India will realize this thing, and Japan also will realize this thing, that part of the Quad. And I wish that Australians more pay attention to their sports achievements, not the war. They will learn the lesson of Australia, Australian progress, Australian everything what they have achieved at this moment. not due to the American slave, not to the friend of the Australia, must stand up and give the message to the government of Australia that this whole water, whole state of water from the Taiwan, China, Indonesia, Singapore, Thailand, and the Iranian and Arab, Indian Arab water must be free from the atomic energy. No bomb, no submarine atomic over there. Yes, old colonialists, old ruler British, they're making the money selling the submarine to the Australia. I wish that our scholars in the world, Pakistan USA Freedom Forum, beg everybody in United States. We are proud how the people stand for the Gazan people, for the Palestinian people, and Pakistan USA Freedom Forum very clear on this matter. Because our forefather, Qaid-e-Azam Muhammad Ali Jinnah, the first day he gave us the lesson that we want a dialogue-based peace, no war, no occupation. That's why we are against the 900,000 occupied Indian army in Kashmir Valley, in Somalia, Western Europe and America, and all bickering and going through the ill work in other poor countries done by CIA and Western spy agencies in the name of the NGOs. Stop it now. United Nations must do their own job. These NGOs, they use in the name of the United Nations, respected name of the United Nations, and I salute every worker who worked for the young worker who worked for the peace, clean water, environment, and the peace, and helping the Doctor Without Borders and other human rights organizations, NGOs, who do this thing. But there are some bad elements which names the NGOs. Basically, they are the arms of the international spy agencies. So, on my last words, we want to create, especially in region of Southeast Asia, no need to war. Let's talk, sit down. India, China, Australia, Indonesia, other Muslim countries and Arab countries. We have a lot of water. We have a lot of oil. We can live. So let's stand for the implementation of the United Nations past resolution regarding about the Kashmir Valley, regarding about the Palestine 1967, regarding about the Somalia, regarding about what happened in Libya. Do we like same thing happen? The answer is no. We are really condemned. Now there's another hoopla in this country regarding about the Osama bin Laden's letter. It's a free country. Let the people know the truth. You know what we did? We killed this guy with a fake NGO, and the Dr. Shakil was using the Pakistani Dr. Shakil against their own country sovereignty, and we got the DNA and using the blood tests, the NGOs for the health, and taking the blood tests over there, the relatives of the Osama bin Laden. That's how they traced the Osama bin Laden. Not the CIA. They used the fake health NGO, which I think they have the fake address from the Holland. All Europe is involved. This kind of low-level, degraded work, inhuman work, and I feel shame to any scholar and any journalist of Western who don't want to speak on this thing. Let's share the facts with the U.S. citizen and the world. That's the future of the world is safe if you share with everything. Share the bread with the other worlds. End the occupations in the world. End the occupations in the world. And message very clear from Pakistan USA Freedom Forum, Mr. Asim Munir, and your cronies, and your bootlicker Nawaz Sharif and Asif Zardari, and any politician who try to do something, learn the history. Your name, your family will be remembered as a traitor. Maybe you have billions of dollars, your son in property in London, maybe the General Bajwa has property in Belgium, maybe other Parvez Ashwakiani have an island in Australia. Maybe they have the million dollar property, but the common man will say, hey traitor, you're a traitor in uniform. Shame on you. And these civilian poor people who's in a jail, I think somebody told me, somebody correct me, 10,000 people in a jail. For what? For the civil rights, for the civilian supremacy, for the supremacy of Constitution. Yes, our journalists have no character. Yes, our Supreme Court, especially at this moment, Mr. Qazi Issa, who was involved in too much making money beyond his assets, beyond his earning. his South Southern wife, South American wife, Serena, was involved. And you know what happened? All judges decided that you cannot talk about his property, no more. Judge Dacian, they give him green light. Somebody has to go check the facts. If something is bad, these Supreme Court judges and every guy, the bureaucrats who looted the country, this is the time, come front of the nation, say sorry. This nation have something else. Our young generation, our youth, a beautiful youth, powerful youth, brainy youth, they want to add something beautiful things to this world. We owe this world. Every poor person in Africa, every poor person in South America, every poor person in Asia, future of those all in our hand. Let's do the right thing. And I'm going to ask this 82 years old Mr. Biden, please check where you are. Check your health. Do the right thing. You are just behaving like as a president of the United States, one of the richest country, one of the most powerful country, that we are getting the orders from the Tel Aviv. We are backing the killers. We are backing the murderer. Yes, every Jew has the same right like me, like everybody. But you cannot kill millions, thousands people. Since 1948, since 1930s, you capture their homes, you kick them out. They're living in tents last 50 years. Same way Afghani people who was living in more than 50 in 1979 in Pakistan. And now Pakistani government, kids who born in Pakistan. I'm going to ask the whole world, please, Pakistan did a great job as a poor country, as a host of the Afghani. Why? Because they were fighting for their sovereignty. Even they were poor, weak, harsh weather. And now we're asking them to get out from here. Even the kids were born over there. They are Pakistanis. I hope this caretaker government, which was supposed to be for 90 days, but now they behave like they are the elected government. It's a fraud. They feel shame, Mr. Kakar. Do the right thing. Mr. Asim Munir, you become a part of the problem. You think that you can be more bloodsucker, wolf, than the Suharto? Mind your business. Please, save Pakistan, save the peace in the world, freedom for Palestinian people, end the occupation in the world, freedom for Kashmir Valley people, and justice for all. Free Dr. Afia Siddiqui, free Julian Assange, free everybody who's illegally in a jail, especially in America, North America, when there's more than millions of people wrongly convicted African American in jails. And the poverty, asylum seeker has international law rights, migrant and immigrants, they have a right over here. No hate. That's a Muslim message. That's the message from my father of nation, Muhammad Ali Jinnah, who learned from the Muhammad, last prophet, that respect the humanity, respect the others' rights, civil rights, and justice, and the court system. Law for everybody is same. Nobody is above the law. No judge is above the law. No journalist is above the law. No journalist above the law.
So they just
I hope
cancer together. That's okay.
European scholars and the American scholars and the poet and the intellectuals do their right job. Education system in America is failed. Look what's happening. We are backing from the day one Israel, the occupier, killer, murderer. They never learned from the Hitler how the Hitler is a bad. So now the Jewish people, that's their job, to come forward and ask them, stop this bullshit.
Stop acting like Hitler.
They're acting like Hitler. It's worse than the Hitler now. The Israel, what Netanyahu doing is worse than the hitting, bombing F-16 supplied by the United States, supplied by the whole Europe, weapons against those people who have nothing. Same like Afghani people who have no helicopter. In Afghanistan, you know that they have no helicopter. When after 9/11 we used the word terrorist. Lessons to kill everywhere. Lessons to kill every resolution and every nice good thing we done in thousands years. And we just killing the other people. Sovereignty, making them a slave, let them feel that they are slave, they're born slave, they're supposed to be slave. No, we all is the same. That's the message for the peace. I hope Pakistan will play the biggest role for the peace in the region and in the world. Kashmir will be free, Palestine will be free, and every Arab state will have their own people. That's their job. I'm not the guy, as a Pakistan USA Freedom Forum, I don't feel to talk about internal matters of others. But I think rulers of the Arabs, they have the money. Learn some lesson, change their attitude, give the right to the people to choose their own party, own people. But it's up to the people of Saudi Arabia, it's up to the people of Bahrain, it's up to the people of Gulf. And I hope at this moment, Joe, friendly, you know this thing. You are the long-time activist, videographer, and even you have a degree of the law, but you're doing this thing for the, and I salute you. This New York owe you, Mr. George Gruenthal and Mr. Joe Friendly. We owe you thanks. And everybody who's doing something for the immigrant rights, human rights, and the women's right. Last thing I think I should have to mention, release the all billions dollars of Afghani people so they can spend on their money and education, Afghanistan. This is a message from this thing. It's a shame that how we confiscated the money which belonged to the other countries. Same way I'm talking about the Iranian sanctions, Iranian embargoes to the Venezuela, to the Cuba. Let's move on. Don't keep us on the 50, 60 years back. Let's do something. Let's use our education and our brain and our intellect for the peace and love and humanity. God bless United States, friendship with Pakistan on basis on the sovereignty. America can make a change in the world. Honestly, I believe this thing. But when the American people learn the truth, they always react. That's have you seen in Washington, 4th of April. I think record people came over here in the solidarity with the Palestinian. They cannot be in the trap that somebody called you, Hamas is a terrorist. Let's talk over there, what they want. It's not easy. 12,000 people at this moment pay the price in last 1 month. Even the wars cannot swallow this kind of dead bodies, what Israel did it in last 1 month after October 7. And Netanyahu has the balls to come in front of us. Shame. It's not a good name for the Israel. It's not a good name for the Jewish people. That's their job. Stand up. Thank you very much. Pakistan, Paindabad.